This isn't the biggest gig I've ever done, but I have to say it's one of the more exciting ones, I have to say. But finally, I think we do have power and we have everything we need. Can I just say welcome to the international launch, the world premiere of A Village Lost and Found in this beautiful village of Hinton Waldrist. And as John has said, the subject of the book is the work of master stereoscopic photographer T.R. Williams. We're very proud, actually, of this work and very excited to be here in this village today, this still beautiful village where an amazing story began more than 150 years ago. This, for us, is the fulfillment of a dream, to bring what we think is a priceless work of art home to its birthplace and to a new audience in the 21st century. His fattening hog dreams of plump bacon and the Christmas log, for this with him, in truth, is dainty fare. But to complete the feast, we add the pomme de terre. The ferry. Men wait the ferry, so in endless strife, to ferry over evils past their life. The ferry crossed, fresh evils bar their way, each in its turn, or mastered, day by day.
What could possibly attract a world-class rock legend to this quaint little village in Oxfordshire?
Oh, you mean me? It's the magic of stereoscopic photography, 3D, coupled with the imagination of an incredible man who lived in the 1850s and chronicled this beautiful little village and its inhabitants, and also in a way encapsulated a way of life which we've probably already lost, but perhaps we can regain through some of his work. That's the short answer.
About stereoscopic photography that really fascinates you?
Well, I don't really understand why the whole world isn't into stereo the whole time, really, because if you have a flat image, it's a nice record of your son or your daughter or your mum or your dad. If you have a stereoscopic image, it's as if you could talk to them, as if you could touch them. It's so real, it's almost uncanny. It's magic. And ever since I first saw my first stereo photograph, which was probably a Weetabix card when I was a kid, I've been completely enthralled by what it can do. And it's culminated in this book and me designing and manufacturing this owl viewer, which I'm thrilled about. This is something I dreamed of, for so many years. Stereo is magic. I mean, we're lucky in a way, because I think if we'd been having this conversation even a couple of years ago, I would have had to explain what 3D is, because it was pretty much a backwater. Recently, it's become very much back in the news, and Pixar are making all their films in 3D. I know Toy Story has just been remade in 3D. James Cameron is making his next film, Avatar, in 3D, and it's become very much a topic which has got life again. It's pure coincidence for us, because we've been working on this for years, but very good for us, because now people are kind of open to the idea of stereo and 3D. We can offer better stereo than anybody else, I can safely say. Films are great. They will give you a headache after a while. But they're still great. These things won't give you a headache. This is the most perfect way of looking at a stereo image that you could ever come across. And it was invented in 1838, really, and became popular in the 1850s.
In your own words, you've been researching Williams' work for half a lifetime. What kind of a journey has that been for you?
I really have, haven't I? It's been amazing. It's alongside my other work. I play guitar and I produce and arrange and make music, and I've also been able to return to astronomy, which was my other passion of youth. But the third passion was always stereoscopy, and it's been there all along. So all the time that I was on tour with Queen all those years, I would be nipping out in the morning to try and find the local stereoscopic dealer and see if he got any stereo cards for me. So it's always been a passion collecting these things, and I always carried a stereo camera on tour, so I have lots of pictures of Queen through the years in stereo. And sometimes I would give the stereo camera to a local photographer and say, here, see what you can do with this, and he would photograph us on stage, and we just hoped that he didn't do this, because that doesn't work in stereo. You have to keep this way.
So were you all interested in the photography, or was it just you?
It was mainly me. Everybody had an interest. I mean, Freddie was very into his Polaroid camera when they first were invented. I remember him snapping everybody with his Polaroid and having a great time. Everyone was interested. You know, Roger's shown a great interest in the viewer and everything these days. But it's been my passion, and I don't really know anyone else in our business who's had such a passion for stereo. There are other photo collectors in the rock business. I mean, Elton is one, and there's a few people who are definitely into photography. But stereo photography, to me, is the magic, and that's what makes me tick.
And you describe stereo photography as art for an audience, which, in a way, you could describe your own work.
Yeah, I find the work of T.R. Williams very parallel to my own work in many ways. He was kind of a rock star in his way, in that he was fulfilling his own passion, putting his own dreams into his work, so it's a very personal thing, but he was playing to an audience. He had an audience who enjoyed what he did and gave him feedback, rushed out to buy his work. So to me, T.R. Williams represents that elusive, fine balance between art for art's sake and art for commercialism. And to me, that's where the magic lies. I think, I've always thought that. I always thought that if you make art on your own and nobody ever sees it, what is the point? You haven't communicated anything, you haven't added anything to the world. Also, if you make your art, if it's art purely for money, then you're not contributing much to the world either. It's a very empty pursuit. If you tread that fine line in the middle, making something worthwhile that you believe in, you have a passion for, but it's a conversation with your audience, then that to me is the magic moment.
Your daughter's been very complimentary about your efforts here. Has that been a big theme of your family and friends been very supportive?
They have. I'm thrilled that my daughters are both here today. That was Emily that you heard from. She's got a first-class honours in biology very recently, but she's like me, she has another side to her, so she's just applied for Central to study drama, and she's just got in, which is great. She auditioned for that. My other daughter Louisa is a photographer, and a very good one, and she's been studying photography but also the modern media. So the whole family's been very supportive. Yes, my son is also very supportive, as is my wife, who can't be here today because she's doing 8 shows a week in Calendar Girls. Working very hard. That's Anita.
I've just got one very random question now.
Yes.
You know, London's preparing itself for the 2012 Olympics. Are you going to be making a repeat of the Winter Olympics 2002?
What's the Winter Olympics 2002?
You played the guitar.
Ah, how amazing that you would know that. Well, it's not going to happen in the same way. That was with my dear friend Michael Kamen, who's now gone, now passed away very sadly, much too early. So I won't be doing it with him again. That's great that you know that. I was very taken with the piece, actually. It was bloody hard to play, I can't tell you. It's great working with people who make you strive for something that you can't achieve very easily. So Michael had written this very complex score, and he said, but it's all right, Brian, you just fit in here and you just weave your pieces in here. And it was very tough, very difficult to do, but beautiful in the end. I was very happy with the way it came out. Michael's sadly missed. He also worked on my appearance on the roof of Buckingham Palace. That was Michael Kamen who conducted the orchestra for that appearance. He was a very dear friend. He also did the Highlander movie with us. So Who Wants to Live Forever, that's his string arrangement in there, or orchestra arrangement.
And of course the God Save the Queen moment's actually got a link to the Williams collection. I think one of the photos was taken when someone was singing the song. There was a photo of outside the church, and they'd all gathered to sing God Save the Queen.
Ah, yeah, that's right. Yeah, this celebration which we're having, this is the kind of the international launch of the book, and it's here in this tiny little village of Hinton Waldrist. But there is a precedent, because in 1856 they had a celebration here, probably in this very barn actually, to celebrate the end of the Crimean War. And there's an account of it in one of the local, in one of the journals of the time, and it says 400 people gathered, and they ate pork pie and plum pudding, and they had dancing on the green and fireworks. So we're sort of echoing that party which they had in those days. So if you stick around, we shall have some fireworks and some plum pudding maybe.
Brilliant. Thank you ever so much.